Last August, a psychiatrist in Fond du Lac, who is one of the world's leading experts on savants, was featured on CBS Sunday Morning with Jane Pauley. His passion for helping gifted people of all ages has inspired a charter school scheduled to open next year. Mike Kirchhoff shows us how an approach that focuses on strengths rather than limitations is helping those with exceptional abilities reach their full potential.
Uranus, Neptune.
Justice Rush knows his planets.
Titanium, vanadium.
He knows the periodic table.
Iron, cobalt, nickel, copper, zinc.
All of it.
This is sodium.
And he knows all of the European countries and their capitals by shape.
Do you know what the capital is of France?
I don't, but I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, okay.
He just turned 5 in mid-October. Before he turned 2, his mom, Nicole Sullivan, knew something wasn't quite right, but not exactly wrong.
He wasn't babbling much, but then I realized he could read at 18 months. Everyone thought I was crazy.
Then she learned about Dr. Daryl Treffert, the world's leading expert on Savant syndrome. That's when a person with significant mental disabilities at the same time has an equally extraordinary ability. Dr. Treffert has been studying and helping people with autism and savants like Justice from his home base in Fond du Lac for nearly 60 years. He was a consultant on the movie Rain Man, which was based on one of Treffert's first subjects.
A2. But 246 total.
These savants are remarkable, like Alonzo Clemens, who had a bad accident as a child and lost most of his mental functioning, but was suddenly able to sculpt incredibly realistic animal sculptures with his bare hands. He was featured on CBS Sunday Morning earlier this year.
That took you 15 minutes at most.
He's what's known as an acquired savant. Stephen Wiltshire was born with it. He, like Justice, is autistic. His savant syndrome manifested as an incredible artistic talent, recreating detailed cityscapes from memory after only a brief flight overhead.
You just see it in your mind?
See it in my head to get it everything in my brain, how it looks.
Typically, the holding glue to all of it is an exceptional memory.
Dr. Matthew Dahl helps run the Treffert Center, part of Ignesian Healthcare in Fond du Lac.
So you could have someone with calendar calculating. They're able to tell you what day and year, and some of them even with weather at the time.
I met my first savant in 1962. That's 57 years ago. And all the savants that I've met seem to know things they never learned. That's been one of the real mysteries of the savant syndrome. I've come to the conclusion that is an inherited skill, that we inherit not just how tall we are or the color of our eyes or the color of our hair, we inherit knowledge.
Justice, who now lives in McFarland, Wisconsin near Madison, had that knowledge, but he didn't speak.
He was 3 when he came here. He did not have language.
Let me teach you that in order.
Okay.
And then one day, when he and his mom were driving, he started to say Saturn, Jupiter, Mars.
Treffert and the doctors at the Treffert Center coaxed Justice out of his shell by using Treffert's strength-based approach. Justice's mom found success with that as well.
I realized I could start to use what he already knows to help him overcome some of the other things, to kind of help translate basic daily life to him. So I need you to be fast like Jupiter, or go the opposite way like Venus.
That focus on strength is the basis of the new North Fond du Lac School District Charter School, just approved by and given a grant from the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction, scheduled to launch next school year.
The switch is really to kind of say, you know what, 80% of the time you're doing pretty good. Why don't we grow that to 85? Because once I do that, I've already shrunk the 20 to 15. And that approach, focusing on strengths and really bringing out the best in people, is what we're really trying to do.
This one is indium.
Okay, how many electrons?
And it is 49 electrons.
The new school will be called the Treffert Way School for the Exceptional Mind. It may sound like a school for the X-Men. It's not. It's inclusive. You don't need to be a savant or have autism to enroll. It's open to all. North Fond du Lac Superintendent Aaron Sadoff.
It's for everybody. It's for those students, the gifted and talented you might hear. And that's a label that I think everybody's gifted and talented in different ways. But some people really have already skill sets that they can build and go beyond. Our current school system isn't built to differentiate as easily as this school can.
We're looking at their ability, not their disability.
Here is osmium, hastidium, chromium,
And
neptunium.
with a child who doesn't have special needs, that same thing is true.
Dr. Treffert keeps a library full of research and documentaries and books on savants at the Treffert Center, and every savant he meets, from animal behavior expert Temple Grandin to golfer Mo Norman, he continues to be amazed.
The thing that I've come away with through this whole journey is my amazement and awe for the brain and the human mind. How little we really know about it. It's the last and most
Carbon, nitrogen, oxygen,
important frontier of exploration, I think.
gold, mercury, thallium, lead, bismuth, polonium.